bit about yourself?
I am an author. I've written 5 books, and I'm in the Coast Guard. I'm a part-time officer, so that means I'm a reservist, and I'm currently assigned up in the Great Lakes region. And I live here in Niceville.
That's cool. Okay, how long did it take you to write the book?
About 4 years.
What was your favorite story in this book?
My favorite story? Well, I like a lot of them. I like all of them, actually, because they're very much a story. And the fact that these people were willing to share that moment with me meant a lot, because you have to gain a certain kind of trust to tell of a moment where you nearly died, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think of the ones that stand out in my mind that helped inspire me to write this, one of them was Chapter 5, Tristan Heaton's, when he did a cave rescue, and the helicopter actually flew into the cave on the Oregon coast, and that's never happened before or since, and because it is so dangerous.
So, what was the hardest part of writing this book?
To keep writing. Writing is a process, and it's not something that as soon as I write a sentence or a paragraph or a page that it's perfect. It's far from perfect. And so I say writing is hard, and I had a little quote on my computer that was persistent.
What inspired you to write this book?
I was inspired to write this book by actually the Tristan Heaton story, Chapter 5, because I had been serving on active duty prior to becoming a part-time reserve officer, and I thought I knew a lot about the Coast Guard. And then when I transferred to the Pacific Northwest, I heard about this cave rescue, and I was just really astonished that that was something we had men and women doing, and I wanted to learn more. And so his story caused me to want to learn more. Best accomplishment in what way? Like
writing this book.
So my books have been published through publishers, so I don't pay to get mine done.
Okay. How does the book relate to you in your life?
That's a great question. Did you come up with that question? It's just such a treasure to have people share their life with you, and it is very emotional. It's the fact that they would trust me, this group of primarily men who put themselves out there to save others, and I don't do that. I mean, I do work in other ways to save others, but not nearly the risk, and I don't have the courage and the heroism that they have. And so the fact that they wanted me to tell their story, I think, is a huge accomplishment, and I greatly appreciate it.
Okay. Write this book.
I wrote the book to share some stories about a group of people that most of America doesn't know exist. And even today, I think the statistic is only 1% of people in the United States of America serve in the military. And that's most of people, 99%, probably don't know or appreciate or value what the men and women in the military do. So this book was to show America what the Coast Guard does and to honor the service of men and women like these.
Okay. If you could change one thing about your book, what would it be? What did you enjoy most about writing this book?
Writing it.
Writing it.
And believe it or not, I think writing a book or writing a story or writing something for school, as difficult as it might seem, because writing can be hard, if you look back at what you wrote and find some joy in that process, because then you have this finished product, right? So I look back at the people I met, the stories I was given to tell, and really kind of immersing myself as much as possible in their experience to write it. Was very rewarding.
Okay. Where did you get your ideas from?
I did a lot of research. I talked with a lot of people, and then I asked this community of rescue swimmers in the Coast Guard, and I said, what are your legendary stories? Who are your heroes? And then I had to narrow it down to 14 out of, I think there's 600 or more rescue swimmers. So 14. And one question I always ask when I do interviews, is there anything else you'd like to add? I would like to add that there are other books by myself, and actually I'm very proud of these too. So this one is a book about women in the military, and maybe you'll get a chance to read this. Some inspiring stories. So women are not necessarily celebrated in the military and in our country for their military service, so that's why I wrote this book, right over here actually.
This book?
So I have a new book called Innovators, Rock Stars of STEM. So these are a collection of stories to help folks like yourself start thinking about, well, what can I do in a science, technology, engineering, or math career? And you don't have to have a PhD. You don't have to have a master's, but you can get a really good paying job in something very fun. And these people talk about how they've done that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.